Okay.
Okay, I need a roll call, show of hands. Carol,
Yes.
Janet,
Yes.
Zeb,
Yes.
and myself. First on the agenda is the approval of minutes for September 16th, 2020. Any questions?
No.
Nope.
No? Okay, I need a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved?
Marie Carol, second.
Seb.
Deb, okay. Okay, show of hands. Carol,
Yes.
Janet,
Yes.
Zeb,
Yep.
and myself. Okay, the next meeting is Wednesday, November 18th. Okay.
Could you
next-
repeat that?
November
I-
18th.
18th?
November 18th, right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Next on the agenda are reports. Liz?
Okay. The director's report is statistics from September. Circulation is down about 55% still, but the gap between last year and this year is closing. So we're getting closer. I think last month it was closer to 70. So it's getting better. Curbside usage is up. I'll give you the number further down. Ebook usage is still high, which is nice to see. I haven't been ordering as much, so I'm a little behind on my ordering, but I'll catch up. Any questions on any of these numbers from the chart?
No.
Nope. Okay.
Nope.
No programs or class visits still. Under the network section, there's a note. We enrolled in the Overdrive Public Library Connect program, which lets public school students use OCLN ebooks by logging in with their school credentials. They don't have to log in separately. So that will be nice. Might make things a little easier for the students, and hopefully we'll get some usage of kids' ebooks that way. Under the building, Pat and I met with the window consultant twice in September. The first time was online to go over details of the project, and then the second time was in person, and we went over the different options and looked at samples of materials. So she is supposed to be submitting her specs this week, and then the project will go out to bid soon, hopefully. Curbside, the numbers are here under service conditions. We had 365 pickups in September, which was up 11% from August.
Good job. Good job.
Under staff activities, we're still doing all online meetings. There's a note here about custodians. We had Brian O'Neill, who's the custodian from the senior center, covering for us while we had a gap between custodians. And then Justin Bodio was working as a substitute, and he has since actually been hired as our new custodian. People might know him from town. He is a youth soccer coach, and he's great.
Can you spell his last name, please, Liz?
Yep, it's Bodio.
Oh, okay. That was
Yep.
easy.
Yeah.
Okay.
The payments to the treasurer, the $930 is donations in memory of Lois Doherty, who passed away over the summer. So we'll be using that to buy books. Any questions on any of this?
No.
Liz, I have one question on the Library Connect program.
Yep.
Are we able to capture statistics that show how often the school uses it? Or is
Yeah.
it not okay, great. That's
Yep.
terrific.
Yeah,
Oh, good.
those statistics will show in the same place where we get our regular Overdrive statistics. So that will be interesting to see.
Yeah, so we'll be able to demonstrate to the town that we've provided another opportunity for the schools to connect.
Yes.
Great. Good.
Yeah, and it was pretty exciting to get this right at the end of the summer because we had just bought, or the friends actually had bought all the summer reading books as ebooks. So hopefully we'll see if they got used.
Good.
Well,
Okay.
Can I just ask how you notify the school kids that they can do this, or the teachers?
This was actually initiated by the schools. The
Oh.
middle and high school librarian asked us about doing it.
Oh,
And
good,
so
great.
all we had to do was like consent to it, and we actually had to get permission from all the other OCLN libraries since it's a shared collection. But they
Okay.
voted on it and approved it, and then we just had to fill out a consent form, and then Overdrive does all the back end work to link the two collections together.
Great.
So they
Okay.
did most of the work, really.
Okay, fine.
Oh,
Thanks.
yep.
And Liz, on the Doherty books,
Yep.
were you free to purchase what you needed?
Yeah, we haven't actually done the purchasing yet. But we'll probably make the selections based on what we know her interests were.
Mhm.
There was some information in her obituary.
Okay, great.
Today.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to the financial report. There is a small correction here in the director's salary line. The number for September is 975, and the number for October is 1625. The total is right, but there's 325 from September is listed under October. So September should actually be 1300, and then October should be 1300 also. So I will send you a corrected version of that. We just noticed it today. The total is right, just the 2 months. Part of it is in the wrong column. Any questions on this?
No.
You can see that supply spending is high, but that includes some stuff that we bought as a result of COVID that didn't end up being reimbursable. But also we've just been buying extra carts and stuff and some shelving. Should be okay. Okay, that was all my notes on that one. So I think we're ready for Zeb's treasury report.
Okay. Well, oh. All right, this month we made $49.98 in interest. And our previous balance was $122,227.67, and bringing it up to 122. Hang on a second. I'm gonna go back to paper. Yeah, it's easier. Our new balance is $122,227.67. We started out with $122,177.69. Okay. So far this year, with 3 months of interest, we've made $153.21. The interest rate hasn't changed. It's still 0.499%. And we're currently at the balance of $122,227.67. Our available expenditure on the last page is $5,761, bringing the September 30th balance to $122,227.67. Everything matches up beautifully.
Thank you. Any questions?
I actually am supposed to add here that last month we got a check from Marcia Manning, who is a former trustee. It's a donation to the trustees for the Kennedy Fund, which I think is in memory of her parents, and it funds our subscription to the Boston Globe. So I will get to the bank this week and make that deposit, and then Zeb, I'll send you the information on that, and so that you can include it on your report.
Joseph and Dorothy Kennedy.
Yes.
Okay, so that their principal right now is $4,500.
Okay.
That's what they have. So what going in, that's the net balance as of the moment,
Okay.
as of the 30th of September.
Okay. I will get to the bank.
And that's in everybody's document.
Okay. Yep.
Okay, next on the agenda is a review of schedules of departmental bills payable. Any questions?
No,
Okay.
No,
Okay, next on the agenda is director. I would like to make a vote on appointing Liz as director. I was going to propose a one-year contract, but after talking to town hall, it was suggested that we give a 3-year contract, with the first year being a probationary period, which would have been the same as giving the 1 year, which would have been probationary. I think that at this time of COVID, and I know we're sick of using that term, but Liz has been doing all the work, and personally, I don't believe it would be advantageous for us to bring in another candidate. I believe that Liz is qualified to continue as director. The library staff are eager to keep Liz on as director, and I hope this, I have an envelope here with a few letters from the staff in support of her. So right now, I'm going to open it up for discussion and see what the thoughts are before we take a vote.
I'll say I agree. I think she's been doing excellent work. I know you've worked really closely with her, and Bev strongly supports her, I believe, from my previous conversations that we've had. And I think Liz deserves a chance to show us more of her stuff. She's done a lot already, so I would agree with Pat.
Carol?
Pat, could you explain that, the switching to the 3-year contract in the first year is what?
Is a probationary period. I was under the understanding that we were going to give her a 1-year contract, and the 1-year contract would be probationary. After talking with town hall, they suggested we do it as a 3-year, which would make it easier, and the first year would be probationary, which basically is the same as what we were doing anyways.
Yes, yeah. And doing it now instead of when we have the 2 other trustees on board?
Well, the other 2 trustees, I feel that's the next coming up, but the other trustees have nothing to do with, they don't even know Liz, technically. So we felt it was better to do it with the board that knows Liz.
Understand.
I agree with that as well. We'll be coming in, if once they come in, and I'm sure whoever they are, they'll be very supportive, but they haven't been along sort of along for the ride during all this in the last 9 months. So I hate to start to have to answer a lot of questions that we already know the answers. We think we do anyway, the answers of how things have gone. And
Ken?
I agree, but I want something that I think is needed. I have no assessment on her background, and I would like to have a release of information so we could read to see where her strengths are for me, and which way we're going to go forward. But I have no problem of accepting you, of going with you, but I just don't know what college you went to. Or you have a degree in what? I know nothing. Because we've been on the outside of that. There were just the core people that knew that information. I know no information.
And the reason we were going with it now is when we made Liz the interim, the money that was given to her, it was done until October 31st.
Oh, okay. So that part is okay with me. In other words, if it was a financial thing, that's fine. But I just didn't know. I thought when we originally talked about obtaining a new director, we had a certain way we were going. And we had a criteria, we had a red book, we had a blue book on how we were going to do things. COVID blew that right out of the water. We all accept that. Okay, that's fine. But I just wonder, with this all happening, are we going to get background information? So I know what your strengths are,
Okay, do you want to have Liz answer you now?
Yeah, I don't want to. No, I feel that's unfair. I don't want to feel I'm putting anybody under a microscope, because I really wanted telling you, I'm going along with all of this. I just don't have any information.
Excuse me, I think Zeb brings up a good point. He didn't see Liz's resume,
Neither
Right,
did I.
so
I
he didn't
couldn't
see, yeah,
say.
or Janet did that. So I think that that's absolutely something that
that's all I'm really
should be
asking.
considered at this point. But I also think, and I agree with all the statements that have been made, this is just an absolutely
Right.
very difficult time. Liz has steadied the ship as we're moving along, not only with a difficult time, but the transition of Beverly leaving and everything that's going on within the town. I completely get that idea. But I also think that relates to what we were discussing previously with the other people that we were going to interview. And I think we should go ahead with the idea of giving Liz the information about what we were intending a candidate would have coming into this position, the criteria. Now, whether or not that can all be done at this point in time,
Because of
given COVID,
Right,
I
right.
absolutely understand that. But I think sharing information with Liz would be a good thing for her to know what the intent was when we were able to move forward also.
Well,
So,
how about for the
I
fact
agree.
that, how about for the fact that it is a 1-year probationary period?
yeah, I know, I get that. Yep.
Yeah, no, like I said, I've
Within
learned
that
a long
year,
time ago that the group of us always make the right decision. You know, I have no problem with our decision. All I'm saying is, I don't know, I just would like to get, like Carol said, the information so we can start coming up with ideas of our own, or at least me, you know.
Okay,
And,
how,
and
I
I
just
think
don't
that
have any background.
having served on the committee, I know what Liz's resume looks like. So I have no problem with that being sent to Zeb
Thank
and
you.
Janet at this point and going ahead with the vote if they feel comfortable with that.
Me too,
Oh,
but I
yeah,
agree.
I don't have
It
a
would be
problem.
nice to have some background in,
Right.
what I'm saying is if we're giving her the probationary year,
Mhm.
that you can look into her resume and look
Yeah.
into how
Yeah.
else you want to proceed.
But I just wanted to bring that up, Pat. In other words, that there were two people on this committee that it was said to us at one point, we're going to bring you stuff that we're going to talk about it and all of that. And then COVID came, but there are two of us that are left on the committee that
Yeah.
never heard a word about what the
Yeah.
criteria, what we ended up with, and that's all I'm asking, is that we
Yeah.
kind of go through that exercise.
And I agree. I'm ready to vote tonight
Oh,
in
same here.
favor.
Same here.
But
Right.
it would just be nice for our own information to be able to say, well, we know that she did this in retrospect.
And I'll put it up. I'll be the one that, elect Liz McNeil as being a new
Motion.
director, right?
Second.
Okay, all right, do we have a vote then? Roll call, Carol,
Yes.
Janet,
Yes.
Zeb,
Yes,
and myself, yes.
unanimous, good.
Okay, and I mean, like we said, we have a,
Congratulations.
yes, congrats.
It's a tough job.
Yes,
Yes.
I've
I'll be
seen,
the first to tell you.
Yeah.
All right. I'll be
and
good.
I would be happy to send anyone the application materials that I have submitted or answer any questions.
Yeah, I think that would be a very good idea to send along your application
Sure.
because you stated certain things there and your resume. So then that's full knowledge for
Yeah.
Janet and Zeb.
And I'm sorry that we had to push it ahead like this, but it was because the interim was running out on the 31st.
Yep.
And
That's fine. I didn't know that. That's fine. And that makes sense. I mean, we have somebody during the pandemic time that's helping us out. I mean, when we have construction, you can't go anywhere.
Okay, any questions or do we want to move on?
Yep.
Sure.
Okay, all right, next on the agenda is for the trustees. Now, this gets a little tricky. I was planning on bringing forth an informal discussion on the candidates seeking to fill these two positions. We were under the idea that these positions were to be filled until the expired term of each seat. I talked to Doug Lapp yesterday. I had a meeting with him in the morning to find out exactly what the process was since I was getting conflicting information. The charter reads that the selectmen appoint appointed positions, which is what I read to him, due to retirements, etc. I questioned this article since it says appointed positions. Town council was consulted and said that the Board of Selectmen makes the appointment and that it was only until the next election in April, which is not what we understood. Obviously, we would make the recommendations as to who we wanted, you know, when we had that Board of Selectmen meeting, which I was hoping was going to be next month. But, so now we have a second option. And I asked Doug about that this afternoon, and he checked with town council. The second option would be filling these positions, not filling these positions until April, because anybody we took on board right now would only be here for 4 months.
So that's interesting, because I thought, like, when the school committee, they appoint for the rest of the term, and why are we different?
This is, Pat, I got your voicemail message. I emailed town council a question. He already replied. The answer is below. Basically, yes, we can wait and leave the positions unfilled if that's what the library trustees and the selectmen would like to do. There's no legal requirement to temporarily fill them now before the next election. Let me know if you need anything else. But his thing yesterday was,
I just want to say this, don't we have to have a quorum? In other words, if we just said right now, okay, leave it alone for the 4 months, and it'll be just the 4 of us doing this, that means we always have to meet or we don't have a meeting, correct?
our quorum, I
Because
believe,
we can
is,
only be out two. Only two,
I believe with 4 on the board now.
yeah.
Is it 3 or is it 2?
We have 6.
I know we have 6. I
Yeah,
mean,
So
but
four-
when two,
four is a
but when
quorum.
2 was out, that
mean-
was 4, and if one more goes out, you're down to 3,
Because
which
we had
means
a-
4 of us.
We had a charter committee meeting Monday night, and originally we had 9. We are down to 4 members presently, and
Wow.
we had 4 members.
All right, I'm just saying if that, if one
I
of
don't know if
us
anybody else has.
can't make
Carol,
it,
do
are you
have
gonna
any
be,
thoughts on that?
yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't get your question.
I didn't
Pat.
get the
Got
last
gobbled.
part.
Yeah. What was your question, Pat?
Do you have any ideas on that?
No, I was just, that was my.
No,
My concern.
Carol.
Let Carol answer right now.
I'm kind of questioning the 2 comments that you've received back and forth there. But I think for myself, I would feel better if we have people that are interested in the positions to go ahead and at least make a recommendation to the selectmen to appoint them now.
Okay, all right. Currently we have 3 people that are interested, 3 candidates. The first one is Jack Ward. Jack Ward has been trustee and he has been chairman.
Right.
And Jack, as you know, Zeb, he's been very good with helping you with the
Yeah.
building
Yeah.
problems.
Yeah,
Okay, Jack was interested in filling the 2.5-year term. Okay, but seeing that that's not an option now, he would have to run again in April. The second trustee was, the second candidate is Carol Cahill, who also is a former trustee. And Carol is the head of the English department at the high school. And we felt that that would be a good bridge between the school and the library.
Mhm.
The third position is Tiffany Needham. And Tiffany is fairly new to the town and she is on Reimagine Rockland. My personal recommendation would be to go with the 2 trustees.
yeah.
And I agree with Carol that if we do appoint them now, even for the short term, which it needs to be clear to them that that's what it is, they may not be interested in running, you know what I mean? But they should
Yes.
at least know before the selectmen's meeting, I believe, but that they will be familiarized so that when and if they run, they will know what they're talking about.
Okay, so I'm going to take a vote then on option one.
So I move that we use option one to appoint
option
until the
one-
election.
Yes.
Sorry.
Option one is to fill the positions.
Yes,
Okay,
I
so,
move to use that, whatever
okay,
you want.
so Carol,
I'll second it.
all right. I need a second.
Zeb second.
Janet made the motion,
Yeah. Yes,
and who made the second?
Zeb
Zeb.
did. Zeb did.
Okay, okay, roll call. Carol,
So this is going to be asked of Jack Ward and Carol Cahill.
yes.
Yes.
Yes, yes,
And for a 4-month position, correct? And
yes,
they need to run again. Yes.
yes. Okay, Janet,
yes.
Zeb,
Zeb,
Yes.
okay, and myself, yes. So, option two is a no vote for everybody, right?
yes.
yes.
Okay,
And to fill the positions with those people, right?
okay, so as of right now, we are not allowed to make an absolute vote on the two that we want.
So
We
don't
can
write that in.
formally discuss it, okay? So that when we go into that meeting with the Board of Selectmen, we can recommend. Beverly gave me the exact wording for when Richard came back on the board, Richard Tetzlaff. And the last time we had to do this was in 2012. And what we had the meeting and we recommended to the selectmen, we said, this is who we would like to nominate. And then they went ahead with it. That's how I'm hoping it's going to work.
Good.
So we're not going to even make a suggestion?
We can make the suggestion. That's what I'm asking you informally to make that recommendation. So we're on the same page.
So
Are we
by,
gonna do a
with
letter
you mean with a
from,
vote? You
yeah,
mean with
no.
a vote?
We can't do
Can't
the
vote.
vote in this meeting.
So
Oh.
part of our discussion is that we would like to be included, our recommendations would like to be included.
Yes,
Please note kind of thing.
yes. When
How
I
do you tell-
submit that paper, when I submit the paper to the selectman and the town administrator, that is how it'll be worded, that we are recommending those two.
Good.
And then we will take a vote in the middle of that. We'll take a vote on those two. I know it's a little bit confusing.
I just want to get it. So I'm going to say
Notes.
Janet suggests the selectmen consider the candidates that are proposed by the library trustees
Yes,
for their appointment.
right, Carol?
So your expectation, Pat, at the next selectmen's meeting or later?
No, it'll probably be November 17th,
Okay,
I believe, because the next selectmen's meeting is our election day, and I
Right.
don't think we want to put it on for that.
no,
So
Wow, really?
they're still gonna have a meeting election day?
I was
Wow.
just going to say, whoa.
Wow.
they have in the past. But I
So
don't,
November 17th,
yeah.
Board of Selectmen. And would
As
we
of right
be
now.
part of that? Would we be part of
Yes,
that?
we
at
all
that?
have
Yeah,
to- It's a
so
meeting,
that's when we vote.
it's a meeting in a meeting, and I'm not.
Right, we're in our meeting, November 17th, right?
All right,
Yeah.
what's the next selectmen's meeting? Wait a minute.
That's what I thought also.
Tuesday and Wednesday, right? That
Yeah, I
the
think you're
selectmen
right.
is Tuesday and we're Wednesday.
Wednesday, November 18th, Zeb.
Yeah, we're 18th.
Okay,
Is
that's what I
us.
thought. Yeah, I thought we were the 7th.
Pat, I've got in my book that the special town meeting is on the 17th,
No, it's the 16th.
the 16th. Okay, thank
On
you.
Monday.
That's a Monday.
Okay,
So the selectmen's meeting is the next day, the 17th.
yes,
So-
thank you.
So another
Easy right.
option, either we do 2 meetings that week, we do, as I said, I'm not exactly sure how a meeting within a meeting goes, especially on Zoom. I've never seen it done on Zoom. So I would have to,
Probably a lot of people.
but then the very next night is our meeting. Do we want to have
Do
two
we have-
meetings?
Should we have our regular meeting on
Yeah.
Tuesday too?
Um,
I
So
think
that's-
that's confusing to me. That's confusing.
It's confusing for me
And we
too.
will have stuff to talk about in November, I would think. There'd be
But
whatever.
we would be shut off afterwards.
Right.
Right.
So
We'd be
my thinking
leaving-
is that we have to go on their Zoom first and then go on to our Zoom afterwards.
I
can
say
you-
have another meeting.
Can you do Zooms at the same time?
No, I say have ours on Wednesday like we're supposed to and just call into the selectmen's meeting so we don't get confused and lose people and thinking of myself, of course, being lost.
I think they can do that. I think they can bring us in. And
Well, yes, they can
yeah,
bring us in.
and then
You
drop
watched
us off.
last night how they bring
Yeah.
people in and then shut us.
Dropping in. Yeah.
So we'll do it that way, and then the next night we'll have our own meeting.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Alright.
my preference.
That's fine.
Here comes the technical.
Okay,
We have open positions in our rankings. We don't have a vice president now because of Looney retired. All right, a vice chairman. Are we gonna set a month between the new candidates coming on, like the end of January's meeting? Are we gonna elect those positions to see who's going to take on that position? Also, I have to bring up as being the security guard, backup security guard for the library when the alarm went off. The person that's underneath me is no longer underneath me, and that's Cora. In
I
other
think-
words,
I think that's been fixed.
okay, I didn't know who, but I since I'm the lead, I haven't
Yep.
found out. So I didn't know if we wanted to do all that stuff, starting in
so
January.
all we would be doing is filling the vice president position.
Okay, all right, and we have someone that's going to back me up on the call. Or you want to wait until those guys come on?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Would you rather have the appointment, the selecting of the vice president now with this board? Or do you wanna, because the four people are only gonna be there for, the two people are only be there for 4 months. Do we
That's
wanna
fine.
include them in the position for vice president or?
Yeah,
That's
I
fine.
don't see the sense to that. I really
Well,
don't. I think that,
It just
do you
can't
think that
go
not
out.
having a vice president is detrimental for those continued months? Until we get April elections and then we're kind of back to where we should be?
This goes back to having three people again, too. In other words,
Okay, I wanna know, is it legal for us right now to vote tonight on that, or does that have to go on a separate agenda?
I would think go on a separate agenda, we can figure it out, but my.
Not
my thing is-
posted.
Huh?
It's not posted
Well,
under
yeah.
today.
Oh,
So
I-
it really
I-
should-
I'm just
I think
asking.
that just has to be postponed for the time being,
Yeah.
till we have an idea,
Okay,
when the
I
selectmen
mean-
make an appointment, we comment on we recommend, or however this is all pulling itself
My
together.
point was that if we were going to get everybody together, at some point, we gotta try to put it all back together.
Okay, Deb, all right, we're gonna have that meeting with the selectmen on, we're gonna have on this, what's the date again, the 16th?
Yep, Tuesday, yep.
No, the 17th.
17th.
16th is town meeting,
And our-
17th.
That meeting is the 18th. So, all right, so we have our meeting with the selectmen, and then the very next meeting, will those new candidates be on our very next night's meeting?
Yeah,
Can they be?
yeah.
Well,
Well,
I
they
mean,
have-
they can be at the meeting, but that doesn't mean that,
No, you have to swear in at town hall.
yes.
Well,
Because
that morning they could
you
do
have to
that.
swear in a town hall. Yeah.
So,
We've
It's all right.
also-
Listen, it's all fine. We can all get through this. It's a different time. We can just kind of bumble our way through, but I'm just
that's
bringing
what we're
this
doing.
up that, that at some point, we got this, and then we got, these kind of like little, sub problems within our system.
So,
I just,
Oh, I don't, yeah, I don't.
I just want to
but
make
we
sure we have a
also-
quorum. My key is, and we have a quorum, and if we need to have proper people in place, that's my only questions. What's the I don't know the Roberts rule of what we need to do.
Like Carol?
I don't think that there's any issue with vacancies.
Okay.
As far as anybody being named officially a vice president or things like that. But also we have to consider next year that I know I'm up next year and it looks like Pat's up next year also. So
Ugh.
we've got to figure out that whole continuum as it goes along with next year's. These people have got to understand the election coming up in April as we are up as
And they,
in
and
that
they
time.
have, to run- and they have to run again if they
Yeah,
decide they want to
yeah,
run.
exactly.
Four
Exactly.
people, wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
exactly. So, well,
If you
That's
guys all
just-
lose, I am out of here.
I'm staying.
All right, you can run the whole place, Seb.
No, I just want to be the treasurer.
You do not want to
yeah,
be the
that's
treasurer.
it.
Tell the
The
truth.
treasurer you have to keep in there. That's the whole thing.
So do we want to vote on a vice president at the next meeting?
I don't, personally, I don't see the necessity.
Okay,
There's
okay.
only one person
wait,
left, so
wait.
Carol knows it'll
I
be.
know
her.
it.
No,
I kind of read that too, Jan. All right, I
I don't
just,
see that, I think the team is working very well together as it is.
fine. I'm just
Yeah.
kind of asking questions, that's all.
Okay, so I will do the best I can to find out how this meeting goes. And I will get back to everybody with that.
and are
Thank you.
you going to speak with the candidates just to let them know that it's,
I will let them know.
can you do that? Okay,
I was waiting to find out, I mean,
Yeah.
I only found out late yesterday afternoon that it was only until election.
yeah, I don't understand that, but anyway, I'm not a lawyer. Okay,
I'm happy Jack's coming back. I want to go on record.
I did reach out to him because he had not, I had not received a letter from him. And I did reach out to him and he said that he had sent it to town hall in
Oh, good.
August, so.
Oh, good.
all right.
All right, so next on the agenda. Lost the agenda, hold on. Parking lot update. Okay, if anybody has gone by, Janet rode by yesterday when I was out with my husband trying to check what was happening out there. All the asphalt is down now. When I asked Dave for the updates to give to you guys tonight, he said that the asphalt was going to be put down, and that was, I talked to him the day before yesterday. So asphalt was put down yesterday. He's putting up temporary railings until he can get the railings from the railing company. I believe starting next week, they start on the parking lot. So it should take 2 weeks for the parking lot to be torn up and, But Janet saw firsthand how it looks right now.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yes, I walked up the step to the side step to the new ramp yesterday. It was great.
Yeah,
And I photographed before, middle, and after, so we can.
Nice.
Close,
I'll got-
can you close?
I can, I photographed the part before, middle, and after so far, so you can archive it. with
Okay,
the
awesome.
library.
I
Yeah,
tell
if you want to
Jeff
use
has
it,
also.
yeah, if you want to use it for anything, we can use it. Like say new updates or come and visit or whatever.
Yes,
It was
thank
very
you.
interesting watching how they proceeded doing it, because at one point I know what was supposed to be there and it would look like you'd see the wood down and say, oh, well, how is that going to work?
Mm,
But they did it exactly as we wanted. So
Looks good.
yeah.
What was amazing was no cars in the parking lot on a Sunday morning. It was just open,
Yeah.
It was not,
okay, any questions on that?
No.
looking good.
Okay, the next one on the agenda is the January as of right now, December 26th was already voted in. That's the Saturday after Christmas, was already voted as an unpaid holiday. Tonight, I'm going to ask for a vote for January 2nd to be also an unpaid holiday for the staff. And that way we will, as in previous years, we will save on utilities. So do I have a motion to close the
So
library?
moved. So
Carol,
moved.
need a second? Zeb? Okay,
I'll-
need a roll call?
Did he say it?
Zeb did.
Yep.
All right,
Second,
I need a roll call. Carol?
Yes.
Yes. Janet?
Yes.
Deb?
yes.
And myself. Okay. Next is building projects.
Um,
Liz?
I covered the window project a little bit in the director's report. The window consultant, Jennifer Campbell, is writing up the specs now. She was supposed to be here yesterday. She said she would be outside on a ladder looking for rot on the windows. I didn't see her, so I'm not sure whether she was here or not. I might have just missed her. But
I know at our last meeting with her, she was outside doing the windows then. She was on a ladder.
oh, okay. Maybe she was here yesterday and I just missed her. I don't know. But she's supposed to be sending her specs and drawings this week, and then it will be ready to go out to bid after that. So hopefully soon.
Good.
And then there are nothing to report on the workroom or the Union Street sign.
Okay. Okay, so information and upcoming meetings. There have been some questions about like when is the library going to open?
Mhm.
And we understood, first it would be from the parking lot when that was completed. And then now, as you all know, we are a red town along with all the towns around us as of last Wednesday. I don't know, I haven't seen the report come out yet today. But as you know, everybody on the trustees gets the reports, the emails from Bob Favini.
No.
No, I don't.
And one of the last ones who doesn't?
I don't.
I don't.
I
Okay,
didn't hear the name.
Rob Favini, he is the head of library advisory and development on the Massachusetts Board of.
Oh, the Board of Library Commissioners.
Board of Library.
Oh, I
I get
understand what
that.
you're saying. Yeah, I thought it
I,
was. you were
I
speaking
still
town.
don't get it. How
Okay.
can I access that?
Okay, well,
Liz should put in your name.
Yes, I can do that.
Thank you. Okay.
Yep.
And my email. Okay.
The Gmail one?
Sure.
Okay.
so when he put this last one out, he said that the libraries could have a capacity of 50%. And what was important is what he put afterwards. He says, it is important to remember the parameters around step 2, phase 3 are not mandates. They are the maximum of what is now allowable in low-risk communities. Libraries in low-risk communities may not be able or willing to increase their capacity at this time. Many factors will impact a library's decision, including staffing levels, available space. Many libraries are using public areas to keep staff separated, as well as quarantining the books. Building floor plan restrictions. Some buildings are unable to accommodate safe social distancing and traffic flow. Positivity rate of surrounding communities. Libraries adjacent to or surrounded by high-risk communities. Local health department guidance. As always, keeping our staff and library users safe is the number one priorities. So as I've shown this to Beverly, I've shown it to Doug Lapp. This pretty much fits our bill as to when we can open. I mean,
Okay.
as of right now, we can't because of being in the red.
I have one question on that, and this would be from Liz's analysis. Some libraries have opened just to have people reserve computer time,
Mhm.
and it's a very short amount of time. And certainly safety and protocols are at their absolute utmost in doing that. And so that people, because of the unemployment rate, because of people who don't have access to computers, et cetera, do you think that that could be done, given staffing and given safety, and within what the requirements are within the town, so that the town's health department would feel also that we were not adversely impacting anybody.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the services that I wish we were able to be providing right now. I would like to maybe figure out something, maybe using the meeting room. I'm wondering if
Mhm.
we could have like a browsing collection in there and maybe a few computers so that people could just come in there and not like all the way into the building. I am going to figure out whether that might be possible.
Because I believe that our first step in opening was to do the browsing.
Yeah, that is something when people complain about not being able to come into the building, that's a lot of the time what they're talking about. So I would like to figure out a way to make that possible.
That has very much been under control. Even like Weymouth just opened their new library and
Right.
everybody wants to go in to see it and everything else, but they have controlled that very closely, as they should. So I think the idea of being able to do some things in the meeting room would be very interesting. And maybe Liz, you can kind of go through and see how if there's a way we could have, I don't know, maybe there is not the demand that people need for access to the computers. There may be other aspects that you see if we could do it safely without adversely impacting anybody.
Carol,
That would be a recommendation from you.
Carol,
Yes.
wouldn't we have to wait until we are no longer a red town?
I'm not sure about that. I'd have to double check, Pat, to those communities that are offering it right now, if they have fallen into that zone, because
Right.
that's what's happened certainly too. People have
And
done it
I
and
know
then may go back.
if we are in the red for 3 weeks, then
Right,
we kind of like have to shut things down in
right,
3 weeks until we're
right.
negative
Yeah.
for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I don't know because Worcester, for example, I believe they've been doing the computer access and they're having a tough time out there too. So some of the other ones are also. So that's a very good question. You may offer it and then have to shut it right down.
I would think, can I just interject for, that the computer access is important because there are many people looking for jobs and there are many people that don't have the computer access, especially in our community. So I
Exactly.
think the school system has found that out very quickly. So anything we can do to alleviate that.
I think that's absolutely correct, Janet. I think if that idea of if we can get the go ahead to do it safely and we're not in violation of anything, the idea of being able to do it, even if it was, from 9 to 12 or something, but you have to make a reservation. And these
Right.
are the guidelines and this is what you have to adhere to.
Yeah.
It would be good for people who don't have the access and people who are looking for a job.
And,
Yeah.
and I'm the radical of the bunch. The way I understand it, we can't have people touching everything in the library.
Right.
Because then we would have to spray, disinfect large areas. We don't have the time, we don't have the staff.
That's
And the money.
I believe personally, if we remove the young adult, out of that room and put the computers in that room, you would have a closed, separated area, I believe, where you could get the maximum amount of use for the maximum amount of people that want to use an area and still have the block off. And when they want to leave, have somebody sit there and have them open the front door so they don't go backwards. That would be a way I would very seriously, I'm going to be very hard about this. You're not using the young adult room and that there, you could buy air filter, if you needed in that one room. You could have somebody in that area there just kind of guarding things so they don't walk back on you. The question becomes, if they need to use the bathroom, what are you going to do?
Well, the question becomes accessibility. You
Well,
cannot
wait,
deny it's
out
accessibility.
that door and come back in the other way. Well, that's the
But
only.
using the front door could be a lot of issues.
Well, you can't deny, what if a person in a wheelchair came up on our brand new ramp? You can't deny them and tell them to go out the
That's what I'm
front door.
saying. You're going in that way, Carol. But once you get up in upstairs, you're not going to come back in the entrance you came in. I'm suggesting going out the front door so you would always have
But you
Like-
can't
like
in a
we go.
wheelchair.
Excuse
But
me.
you can't in a
Oh,
wheelchair.
right. Well, that you have an
Yeah,
exception.
so,
Excuse
no,
me.
no, you can't do that in a public. We can't have an exception. I agree with you. I think it's a very useful idea to think about that young adult room. But my other question is, Liz, are we wired in there enough to handle computers?
No, everything would have to be wireless in there. So
And
that's
you know what? Call 1-800 the Friends.
Yeah.
Now, let's get some money. I'm dead serious. You're not gonna stop me. This makes sense. You're gonna put kids, you're gonna put people very close together. All the computers are there. You don't have anywhere to grow. You're gonna invest all your investment there. I suggest that you look at another spot before you make an investment. I'm sorry, Pat. You know,
Excuse me, I personally would go for the meeting room where it's quick in access and in and out, if that can be
I
wired.
think it would be
That is
easier
why.
to do one-way traffic down there because there are the two doors down there. You can go in one and out.
Right,
the
all
other.
right.
And
either way.
there aren't books and everything to worry about being contaminated, but somebody would have to be there in the area.
Yeah,
Somebody,
somebody would have to be.
you could
in
figure
whatever-
that out, I'm sure.
I mean,
And then there
first
would
off,
be bathroom access too down there.
first off, we have to get the parking lot done first.
Yes.
I believe that we take a vote on when we want to open it.
I think we should wait till November for that.
I
don't see it
one thing
happening
on the
till
conference
November, do you?
is I think you do have the computer power because it runs the projectors, right? So you have computer
With wireless.
wiring coming right
Wireless.
there.
The
Yeah, I
wireless.
think
So,
it would be
I
more
think you might be
feasible than-
alive in that room.
Yeah.
Right. Well, could Liz, could you scope it out? And we can have a fuller discussion and how you feel that, tables being set up, how many people will be accommodated, how many people you think you can manage, because you're gonna have to clean. Once a person leaves, the staff is gonna have to clean the area and the
Right.
keyboard and everything else. So could you
Or-
scope it out?
Yes, sure.
Yeah,
Or,
talk with your staff too, because they'll probably have some
Yeah.
ideas as well.
and another thing too, do we want to do 3-cylinder? In other words, if they're making something now, that has a sideboard and a top, and you fit a desk in there, that's perfect size. If we bought 6 of them, and then the computers are in them, then we only have to clean maximum area of that. You know what I'm saying? Where we,
Well, maybe
I've
Liz
seen
can,
a lot of this stuff done in Japan. In other words, the kids go and they have school in the cubicle. And if you want to help people in town, like Janet says, that don't have access, don't have the money, out of work, all this, think of spending a little money too. We'll try to find it for you. I will.
well, Liz, if you could scope it out and maybe talk to your colleagues, not only in the library, but at other libraries that are faced with the same situations. And how are they utilizing their meeting rooms and equipment and, furnishings and things like that?
Yep, I had the meeting room idea a while ago, and I had thought that I imagined that we'd be open right by now, so I didn't act on it, but now it's probably time to pursue it further. And we have bought some stuff. We've bought extra keyboards and mice that are wireless and can be switched out, and keyboards that can be washed with soap and water. So those will be helpful when it
Great.
comes to that
Great.
time.
Good.
Great.
Okay, anything else to discuss? We can put our heads together and come up with whatever solutions we can think of.
Yes, we've had a lot of ideas, just the timeline is what's so uncertain.
know,
but
I know.
Yeah.
So we know.
Mhm.
Okay, do I have a motion then to adjourn?
So moved?
Carol made the motion at 6:55.
Yes.
Zeb, want to second it, make it easy?
Sure.
Okay, roll call. Carol,
Yes.
Janet,
Yes.
Zeb,
Yes.
and myself.
Great.
Okay. Well, it was a nice lively discussion tonight.
Yeah, but a good one, positive.
Yes.
Thanks for bearing with us, Zeb. Not Zeb, you're anyway. Liz,
Congratulations, Liz.
yes, we're happy to have you.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Okay.
Say that in a
good night,
month, okay?
Okay.
Take care. Bye,
I'm still
everybody.
treasurer.
As you always will be.
Yeah, good luck.
Good luck.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
everybody.
Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.